Good morning and welcome back to another episode of Project CL500. Thank you for joining me guys today on this beautiful Sunday morning. We're going to have some fun working on a new project that I'm going to be doing today on my car, my 2002 CL500. Today we're going to be working on, yes, headlight restoration. This problem that plagues pretty much everyone in the car industry. If you have an older car, whether it's a car or truck, 9 times out of 10, eventually you're gonna run into this problem with either a cloudy headlight or the headlight starts to yellow. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to wet sand the headlights and polish them and finish them off with a clear coat. I've seen other videos on YouTube where this is a permanent fix. So this is something we're going to try. Yes, I know there's kits and part stores that you could buy. To me personally, they're kind of pricey for something that's a quick fix like this. I mean, if you want to spend $30, $40 on a kit, I mean, by all means do so. But 9 times out of 10, you're more than likely going to end up having to repeat this process after a year. This way that I'm going to be doing it, this should be a permanent fix. So guys, let's get to it and let's go ahead and get started and get to the first step. All right guys, before we get to the first step, these are some of the products that you will need to complete this task. All right, first we have the masking tape. This way you can mask off the lights. Also some old newspaper, which I have down here in the bag. Usually I would have went with 800 grit sandpaper, but I got 600 and the part store didn't have any 800, so I mean, you just gotta be careful with the 600. So 1000 grit sandpaper. This is an old 1000 grit that I have. I'm gonna use to wrap the 600 around, so this way I'm not pressing too hard when I do it. A polishing wheel, some clear coat, plastic polish, polishing pads, some paper towels. All right, now let's go ahead and get started. Okay, first step. What you're gonna want to do is start out by masking the headlights. You do this by using the masking tape and putting a layer around the headlights. This way it gives you somewhere to take the newspaper off to, and it gives you a more clean look when you're spraying and sanding your headlights. It also protects your paint from overspray and doesn't make a mess anywhere in your engine bay when you're doing this. Okay, so first we're going to start out by masking it off, and I'm going to show you what that looks like, and then we're going to do the newspaper. All right, we got the headlights masked off. As you can see, you want to start by putting a layer around the headlights. This way you can tape off the newspaper to it, and it gives you tighter seal around the headlights so no overspray will go in and get on anything that you don't want it to be on. So we're going to go ahead and put the newspaper on and go from there. Okay, this is what your headlight should look like when you're finished masking. As you can see, what I basically did was just lay a sheet of newspaper over the headlights and just cut the holes out. This is why I start out by masking around the headlights first before I put the newspaper, because you can see there's gaps. And you want those gaps to be covered so no paint seeps through and gets in there. There's a little spot I'm gonna have to add a piece of tape to right there, but other than that, I should be fine. Okay, now for the next part, we start with the wet sand. I'm gonna start out with the 600 grit. I'm going to not put a whole lot of pressure when I sand the headlights, but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Start with the wet sand, and I'll be back. All right, you're gonna want to start out by just cleaning the headlights off a little bit, and you can use 70% alcohol that you can get from a drugstore. I wouldn't use more than 70%. To just, want to make sure there's no contaminants, no dirt or grime on your headlights or bugs stuck to it before you start this process. And what I do is I tape the sandpaper basically to the sponge. You can use any kind of sponge. I just use this because this is the old 1000 grit that I used before. But you don't want to have to apply too much pressure when you do this. So basically you just take your water, spray it on the headlight, make sure it's nice and wet, spray a little bit on the end here, and just lightly, not even hardly put any kind of pressure on it, and just start scrubbing and spraying. Okay, now that we got the headlight scuffed, we're gonna take some clear plastic cleaner and polish and apply it to the headlight to clean it up a little bit. All right, now we're gonna take this and buff out the headlights and see how clear we can get it. All right, so now I got both headlights, as you can see, sanded, buffed out, and clean, and you could tell it's a huge difference. When you look at these, and then you come over here and look at these. See how those are faded and cloudy and almost yellowish looking. But then you come over here and look at these, 10 times better. So I have not put the clear coat on just yet. So I'm still in the process of buffing them out and polishing them up. I'm gonna do it a few more times and then we'll put the clear coat on. All right, we got both sides done, looking good. Nice and clear. No haze, no scuffs on it. All right, let's see what it looks like with the headlights on. All right, Isaiah, go ahead, crank it up. All right, there we go. They're looking good. Nice and clear. Like I said, all I did was sand them down and polish them real good. And now we're about to apply the clear coat. And once the clear coat goes on, that's what's going to protect it. But man, these things look 100 times better than what they did. There goes the engine. This thing looks beautiful sitting under this hood. And I got my little man Isaiah in here. He's my little assistant. All right, you go ahead, cut it off. This kid is a genius. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to apply the clear coat, and that should be that after that. So let's go ahead and get to it. All right, as you can see, it's much later in the day now. It's getting dark. So I sprayed the clear coat on, didn't really like how it turned out, so I decided to start over from scratch, sand everything down, repolish it, and now let's take a look to see the results. And I think I'm going to be happy with the results because they are much brighter than what they were before. You really can't tell on camera, but these things look brand spanking new. I'm really happy with the results. So, to sum it all up, basically, wet sand and polish. As far as sealing them, to keep them this way, I might do either a ceramic coat or some type of wax. I'm not sure yet, but we'll see tomorrow. I'll go to the parts store. I got to pick up some other things anyway, and I'll touch base with y'all and give y'all the results then. But for now, I got my lights shined, looking nice, brand new. And I must say I am happy with it. I am very happy with the results. It took a while. It's a lot of work, I'm not gonna lie to you. It's not a quick job that you can do. Pretty much took me all day, well, basically because I did them twice, but I'm telling you, these lights, man, they look so much better now. So much better now. You really can't see them on camera the way I can see them in person, but trust me, they look way better. But that's it for this video, guys. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that like button, and I will continue bringing more content as we are still in this quarantine, but hopefully things will start turning around soon. But for now, thank you for watching Project CL500.